Hello students, we continue to study chapter 4 of history, that is thinkers, beliefs and buildings, the cultural developments that happened between 600 BCE to 600 CE. In this video, we will study about stupas and the four sacred places related to Buddhism. Meaning and structure of stupa, the fate of Amravati stupa, the role of the Begums of Bhopal in preserving the stupa at Sanchi and sculptures at Sanchi. First, let us study about stupas. What is a stupa? What do you understand by the word stupa? A stupa is a mound-like or hemispherical structure containing relics that is used as a place of meditation. Another related architectural term is chaitya. Certain places were regarded as sacred by the people in the early times. Sites with special trees or unique rocks or sites of awe-inspiring natural beauty with a small shrine attached to them were known as chaityas. It is a prayer hall or temple containing a stupa. Now let us study about the four sacred places which are considered very holy by the Buddhists. The Buddhist literature describes places connected with the life of Buddha, and these are the places. First, Lumbini. It is the place where he was born. Second place is Bodh Gaya, place where Lord Buddha attained his enlightenment after long period of meditation. Next is the Sarnath, place where he gave his first sermon after the enlightenment. The fourth place is Kushinagara. It is where he attained Nibbana. These four places were considered as very sacred. What exactly is the meaning of stupa? Mounds were relics of Buddha, such as his bodily remains or objects used by him were buried, were known as stupa. So each stupa contains some kind of relics of Buddha, either bodily remains or the objects that are used by Buddha. It is known that Ashoka distributed portions of the Buddha's relics to every important town, and he ordered the construction of stupas over these relics. The stupas at Barhat, Sanchi and Sarnath were built by the 2nd century BCE. The inscriptions found on the railings and pillars of the stupas give an idea about the donations given by the kings, various guilds, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, and ordinary men and women for building and decorating these monuments. Now let us study about the structure of stupa. Stupa is a Sanskrit word meaning a heap. The structure of stupa originated as a simple circular mound of earth called anda. Gradually, it developed into a more complex structure. Above the anda was the harmiga, a balcony-like structure that represented the abode of the gods. Arising from the Hermiga was the mast called the Yashti, surrounded by a chhatri or an umbrella. Around the mound was a railing that separated the sacred space from the secular world around. Look at this figure. It is the structure of stupa. Now we study about some of the early stupas. The early stupas were built at Sanchi and Berhad. They were plain except for the stone railings, which resembled a bamboo or wooden fence, and the gateways, which were richly carved and installed at the four cardinal points. The mound of the stupas at Amravati and Shaji Deri in Peshawar came to be elaborately carved with niches and sculptures compared to the early stupas at Sanchi and Berhad. Now let us study about what happened to the stupa at Amravati. The Mahachaitya at Amravati is lost its glory because of the following factors. In 1796, the local Raja came upon the ruins of the stupas at Amravati. He used the remains to construct a temple instead of preserving the stupa. In 1854, Walter Elliot, Commissioner of Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, he also visited Amravati and collected several sculpture panels and took them away to Madras. He also did not think about preserving the stupa at Amravati. Then Colonel Colin Mackenzie, he visited the place and prepared a report, but his reports were not published. By the 1850s, some of the slabs from Amravati had begun to be taken to different places, to the Asiatic Society of Bengal at Calcutta, to the India office in Madras, and some even to London. Many of these sculptures were seen adorning the garden of British administrators, and we find the stupa was not taken care of by anyone. In fact, every remains of the stupa were taken away by people to different places, and so Amravati stupa lost its importance. Now let us see the role of Begums of Bhopal in preserving the stupa at Sanchi. Among the best preserved monuments of the time is the stupa at Sanchi. In the 19th century, Europeans, first the French and later the English, were interested to take away the eastern gateway of the stupa to Paris and London museums. But Shah Jahan Begum of Bhopal did not allow the Europeans to take away that. Instead of that, they were asked to plaster cast the copies, and so the original remained in its place. So the rulers of Bhopal, Shah Jahan Begum and her successor Sultan Jahan Begum, provided money for the preservation of this ancient site. So a museum was built. They also funded the publication of volumes by John Marshall. The Sanchi Stupa remained as the most important Buddhist center, and it helped in the understanding of early Buddhism. Today, it stands testimony to the successful restoration of a key archaeological site by the Archaeological Survey of India. Now let's study about few sculptures at Sanchi, which are said to be stories in stone. The sculptures at Sanchi are there were stories of Vesantara Jataka where the prince gives up everything to the Brahma and goes to live in the forest with his wife and children. The early sculpture does not have image of Buddha. Instead, it uses symbols like empty seat, which represent meditation of the Buddha, and stupa, which represented the Mahaparinibbana, which means Buddha's attainment of nirvana, that is the freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth of Buddha. There was the use of wheel, which stood for the first sermon delivered by Buddha at Sarnath. The symbols of worship that was used cannot be understood literally. For example, the image of a tree does not stand simply for a tree, but it symbolizes an event in the real life of Buddha. Hence, historians have to familiarize themselves with the traditions of those who produce these works of art to understand such symbols. Some other sculptures at Sanchi were not directly inspired by Buddhist ideas. Now these include beautiful woman known as Shalabanjika swinging from the edge of the gateway holding onto a tree. According to popular belief, the mere touching of the tree by hair would make the tree to flower and bear fruit. Many people who turned to Buddhism enriched it with their own pre-Buddhist and even non-Buddhist beliefs, practices and ideas. Many animals were also carved to create lively scenes to attract viewers. Here we see non-Buddhist traditions making its own place in the Buddhist sites, as many people who belong to different faith joined Buddhism. For example, elephant was carved which signified strength and wisdom. Another figure found at Sanchi Stupa is that of Maya, the mother of Buddha or popular goddess Gajalakshmi. The motif of a serpent was found at Sanchi. James Ferguson, a modern art historian, considered Sanchi as the center of tree and serpent worship. That is the reason these images have been inscribed in some of the monuments found at Sanchi. Now let us see about the development of Mahayana Buddhism. By the 1st century CE, there were changes in Buddhist ideas and practice. Early Buddhist teachings had given great importance to self-effort in achieving Nibbana. Buddha was regarded as a human being. The idea of Buddha as a savior began to emerge slowly. It was believed that he is the one who could ensure salvation. Simultaneously, the concept of the Bodhisattva also developed. Bodhisattvas were perceived as deeply compassionate beings that could help others to attain Nibbana. The worship of the images of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas became an important part of this tradition. This new way of thinking was called Mahayana, literally means the greater vehicle. The followers of Mahayana Buddhism described the older tradition as Hinayana or the lesser vehicle.